Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. So, if you recollect what we have been covering, the 9 levels of Bhakti Lata was where we started from the beginning. So we started with Shraddha and then we are building up. So this is the main sloka, which is always, of course, every class we will be actually going through just to see where we are. Right? So this sloka says, Ado Shraddha Tadakshadu Sangota Bhajana Kriya Tato Anartha Nivrtti Tato Nishta Rucistada Ata Sakti Tato Bhavas Tata Prema Vyudhanchati Sadhakana Mayam Premna Pradurbhave Bhaved Krama. So this is all the stages. Faith. We start with faith. Ado Shraddha. So faith, Shraddha first awakens in the heart of the practitioner of Bhakti. Here we mean Krishna Bhakti. All the other Bhaktis are different. They are not actually the ones which we are talking about. Krishna Bhakti. So as a result of the Shraddha, how the Shraddha comes? Because of the Sukruti. Because we have done some Sukruti, some Punya in the past lives. And that is why we have, in this birth, have Shraddha. Those who don't have Sukruti, they won't have Shraddha. They won't be able to come in. So as a result of Shraddha, a desire for the association with saintly persons, Sadhu Sangha awakens. See, Ado Shraddha Tada Sadhu Sango. So then followed by what happened then? Then we get Bhajana Kriya. Bhajana Kriya is the propensity to practice their teachings. So whatever that we hear from Sadhu Sangha, we are actually going to practice. That is Bhajana Kriya. Kriya means doing. Bhajana means Bhajana devotion. So then after that what comes? After that comes the stage in which obstacles to devotion are cleared. Okay, so this is basically you have gone in just in the first, just the entrance you are there. But you have to then go through the process of cleaning yourself. That is Anartha Nivrtti. Because there are so many anarthas. Anartha means unwanted things. Garbage. Municipality gachara we have in our mind. That's what the Anartha Nivrtti means. We have to Nivritti. We have to really remove that. Then once that is done, what happens? The Nishtha comes. Nishtha means firm faith in bhajana. So devotionally you will be so absorbed and soul awakens so nicely. Then that is followed by awakening of ruchi comes there. So Nishtha, then ruchi. You will have taste. You will have taste in any devotional activities. So that is ruchi stage. Thereafter, asakti comes. That is intense attachment. This is where you are really binding. So there is a binding between you and Krishna. So then to whom which form of Krishna? Brajendra Nandan Krishna. That is what we are all targeting about. That is our only object of our bhajana. So then surpassing even this is the awakening of transcendental emotion called bhava, which is the very form of pure existence. That is basically the Sutta Sattva. So all the other things, Sattvic and Rajasic, and they're all actually material things. So above all the even Sattva is Sutta Sattva. So that is where we have to get in. That is when the Bhava comes in. Then the Bhava develops again and becomes Prema. So you see the Bhakti Lada at the left of the screen. So this is what we are actually going to go by step. Okay, so today we are here to discuss the Anartha Nivrtti. So it is true that all of us are interested in this class are really fortunate. You will be hearing so many things that you can never, get a chance to hear outside. So the Bhakti Rasa is not obtainable even to the demigods. However, just hearing about the Bhakti Rasa is not like actually tasting it. It is like reading the honey bottle, compared to drinking the honey. So reading the Madhurya Kadambini is like reading the label of the honey bottle only. But tasting the honey is different, entirely different. So that can be done only by sadhana and mercy from Guru and Guru Parampara. Okay, so they are actually tasting already. They are tasting the honey at every moment. So this honey is not actually in the bottle. This honey is the ocean of honey. No limit to the bliss and taste. Okay, so there is a difference. Reading and trying to understand. First of all, not that many people will be even having opportunity to really come and read this kind of scriptures. And even if you read, it's not actually tasting. You have an idea about that taste. The actual tasting comes only by sadhana. So we already covered 2 classes on Anartha Nivrtti, part 1 and part 2. What is Anartha Nivrtti? It is the elimination of unwanted things, kacharas. We have accumulated so many unwanted things. They are all in our mind. And thus attached firmly in this temporary Mayic world. While our body and mind are attached to this world, our soul does not belong to us. The soul is like a helium balloon. It won't stay. It wants to really pop up and then go out. But we are holding it. So that weight is the anarthas. So that weight which is really holding our soul, which has a natural affinity to really go to the spiritual world, is trapped due to our material desires and attachments. Only when we remove the weight of our attachment, anarthas, the balloon can go up. So removing of these weights called anarthas to free up our jiva is called Anartha Nivrtti. Okay, so that's what it is. Okay, there are 2 kinds of, okay, now let us give us a little background. There are 2 kinds of conscious beings. Okay, so I'm calling everyone, whatever, God or jiva, anything which has consciousness. 2 categories: independent conscious sentient things and dependent sentient things. What are they? The independent beings are called Ishwaras, controller. They have more power. The dependent beings are not independent, but they are usually the normal jivas. So Ishvara actually means controller. There are many Ishwaras in this Brahmanda. Every Brahmanda has so many Ishwaras. There are 33 crores of gods. They are all Ishwaras. So they are called lords. And primarily Lord Brahma, Lord Indra, Shani Bhagavan, Lord Shiva, Lord Ganesh, they are controllers. That does not mean they are the Parama Ishvara. No, Parama Ishvara is different. Parama Ishvara is only one. Param means ultimate, absolute. The absolute independent is only what? The Shastra says that is Krishna. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadiradi Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam. Right? So that is done. Okay. Now what is the difference between Ishvara and Jiva then? Ishwaras can pervade anywhere they control. So they can actually get into any aspect of the Prakriti, the Jada Lok. They can actually get into Prakriti very easily. Jivas can only pervade in the body they have been put in. So we are pervading in our body, but we cannot pervade in every atom or something, or any of the other things other than our own body. Okay, so this is important. Now Siddhas are in between. So they are the jivas who, because of the power they really get, they will be given a very limited power of Ishvara. But not Ishvara, they are not Ishvara. So all the jivas are the superior energy of the Lord. Okay, Lord has 3 kinds of energy: internal, then superior, and also marginal. Right, so we are actually in the marginal, in fact, but there are out of the 3 kinds of energy. Internal is his own expansions and everything, and the marginal is our jivas, and the jada is his inferior energy. Anyway, so all the jivas are the actually in a way superior than the jadas. And by nature, what is the nature of the jiva? Jivera Swarupahaya, Krishnera Nitya Dasa, Krishnera Tadatsa Sakti, Beda Abeda Prakasha. Okay, that we know it. So the Parama Ishvara is a master and the tiny jivas are his servants. That is known. We have really covered like many times. We saw that there are many Ishwaras, right? That's what we have been covering so far, right? But these Ishwaras also have two kinds again. Those Ishwaras who are beyond Maya. It means they don't have any touch with Maya. And those Ishwaras who are touched by Maya. Okay? This Maya is by willingness, by their willingness only they are actually touching that one. Who are those Ishwaras beyond Maya? Lord Narayan, Sri Hari, Lord Vishnu, they are all come in this category. Okay? They are not touched by Maya at all. They are beyond any influence of Maya. Maya can never touch them. Because of this, once we reach him, Vishnu, we can never fall from the Vaikunta. See, that is why no jivas can actually fall from. Why? Because there is no Maya there. That is why Srimad Bhagavatam says, Harirhi nirgunak sakshat purusha prakrite paraha. He is beyond. So Sri Hari is beyond material nature and there is no connection with Maya. See, Harir he nirgunak sakshat. So he is the supreme personality of Godhead and situated above absolute transcendence. Okay. So this is why all the other Ishwaras, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Lord Indra, you call they all worship Lord Narayana or Vishnu or of course Krishna, who is the ultimate source of everybody. So they are the Parama Ishwara. Right? So we have seen so many cases where Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma have given boons to their worshippers. And later what happened? They could not even stop that. They could not solve the problem. So they ran into problem for their own life. So then who comes in the rescue? Because they cannot. Because they are in the touch of Maya. That is why they cannot do it. So they have to come to those, that Ishvara who is beyond the touch of Maya. That is why we see all the scriptures, so many Puranas, we see that eventually Vishnu will come or Narayana will come or Krishna will come to really solve the problem that they created by giving the boons. Hiranyakashipu, Jairatra, Salva, Brittasura, Panasura, Sudakshana. Oh my God, you just name. They cannot solve the problem. So why Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma themselves run into the problem is why? Because they are not Paramayishvara. Even the people may call Parameshwara, that is their problem. But just Ishvara, they are actually only Ishvara, controllers. So only Lord Krishna or Lord Vishnu can solve their problem, their own problems. Problems of Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, like when they give boons. So they cannot even give moksha. That is the thing, they cannot give moksha. How? Why? Because they are touched by Maya. So that is why even Lord Shiva has to utter the nama, Rama nama. Rama is also the same category as Vishnu, to give mukti to the jivas in Kashi. He cannot give it by himself. And also Gita also says that only all the things is actually given only by Krishna only, which is Vishnu Tattva. And who are those accepting Maya? Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, and so on. So note that they are not controlled, by the way. Okay, very importantly, they are only accepting Maya. Okay, so they are not controlled by Maya. Accepting Maya is actually basically touched by Maya, and controlled by Maya are two different things. There's a big difference. Okay, big difference between touching somebody and controlling somebody. Okay. So they are willingly touched by Maya for the sake of what? Their post, their pastime, their leela that has been given by Lord Krishna. Okay, so those are the ones, Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, for example. So they are the Ishwaras, but touched by Maya. Shiva Shakti Yutat Saswat Trilingo Guna Sambrataha Vaikarikast Tai Jasacha Tamasas Cheti Aham Trida. So what it is saying is, Lord Shiva being Guna avatar of Sri Hari, they are actually not different in a way. Just because Lord Shiva is touched by Maya, that is why the difference comes there. Okay. So, but what it is saying is, Lord Shiva being a Guna avatar of Sri Hari is very powerful. He is actually the presiding deity of three types of material ego. What are they? Goodness, passion and ignorance. But specifically, he picks the ignorant part, tamasic part of it, and then plays the role of destruction of the universe. However, Lord Shiva takes the perpetual relation with the material energy. So that why, see, because Lord Shiva has married Maya Devi. Isn't it? His consort is Maya Devi. So that is why we mean that he has a touch. Brahma also has a touch. This Saraswati is material knowledge, giving Saraswati, not Divya Saraswati. Remember, from Radharani comes Divya Saraswati, from tongue comes Divya Saraswati, then from Divya Saraswati, then so many Saraswatis, one for each Brahma. That's how it goes. So, this Saraswati is also having touch with Maya. This is very important to understand. Okay? So, also you have to understand that Lord Shiva is not a Jiva. He is a controller, not like Brahma. Brahma is actually Jiva, almost that is actually Jiva, but not Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is a manifestation of from Krishna only, Lord Govinda only. But how the relation is there, like a milk and yogurt. Because the milk is transformed into yogurt. But yogurt is, see, you can say milk is actually a yogurt, but yogurt is not a milk, because it transformed. So there is a difference there. That is what is mentioned in the Brahma Samhita. Kshiram yatadaji vikara vishesha yogat sanjayate nahi tadapratak asti heto ye sambhutam apitada samupaiti karyat Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Just as milk is transformed into curd by the action of acids, but yet the effect curd is neither same as or not different from its cause, basically milk. So I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, of whom the state of Shambhu Shiva is a transformation for the performance of the work of destruction. Okay? So, for this purpose, Lord Shiva is touched by Maya, material worlds. You have to understand that. Also, Lord Brahma is performing the creation work. He is also touched by Maya. Now, Parama Ishvara and Ishvara differ in this respect of Maya only. Okay? So now you understand there is more to it now. Let us go a little deeper. Parikshit Maharaj is asking a question. If you read Srimad Bhagavatam, a very strange question to Srila Sukadeva Goswami. Oh great sage, Lord Shiva has rejected all material enjoyment. He wears only a tiger skin. But it is seen that almost all of those who worship Lord Shiva are so wealthy and have so much of material comforts. On the other hand, Sri Hari is the husband of the goddess of wealth. And he resides in all sorts of opulent place, Vaikunta. But for the most part, his devotees are materially poor. Okay? So, while Lord Shiva is renounced from enjoyment, makes his devotees wealthy, but by Lord Hari, who lives in opulence, makes his devotees poor. Why is this? That was a question that Parikshit Maharaj asked to Sukadeva Goswami, and you can read that in Srimad Bhagavatam. And in response, Sukadeva Goswami is saying this: even though Lord Hari is opulent, he is not touched by Maya. We already covered that. He wants the jivas to get back to him, not stuck under Maya in the material worlds. So he, out of compassion, out of his mercy, blocks giving these kind of things to, which will really force the jivas to get stuck in this world. He does not give material enjoyment, which are like poisonous snakes. So he instead supplies a guru and arranges for sadhu sangha. This is a big difference in worship is this Krishna bhakti, what we are actually all talking about, and the other kinds of bhaktas are entirely different. It's like ulta, it's opposite nature. Okay, so that's why they cannot be called as bhaktas in fact. Okay, so but Lord Shiva, what does he do? Even though he is renounced, right? He says I am renounced, but he has a touch of Maya. Okay, see the difference between these two personalities. So he bestows material wealth. That's all he can give. I told you before, Lord Shiva cannot by himself give any mukti. It's not possible. So, for those who are not inclined to Krishna, but to enjoy their senses, Lord Shiva, people normally run there only. Oh, I want to get married. Oh, I want to get a lot of money. I want to get my job. I want to get... This is material side. They want to get stuck here. They are worried only about this world. They have no idea about the other life. This is the difference here. Okay, you have to be very careful. Okay, those people will never come to Krishna. Okay, so Lord Shiva, but sometimes Lord Shiva wants to give us some favor, very extraordinary. When someone is really having inclination to Lord Krishna, but they approach the Shiva as for some help, then he sends them to a Vaishnava. But this is very rare. So if you want Maya, Lord Shiva actually cheats you and gives you the Maya and be stuck here. If you read Shiva Tattva, the book we are actually publishing in fact in a few days, you will read that Lord Shiva is the greatest cheater and also greatest merciful personality to give Krishna Bhakti, depending on what you ask. If you ask for material things for you, then he cheats you. Then if you really ask for Krishna, he sends you to Vaishnava. So he is the first Vaishnava. Yada Vaishnavanam yada Sambhuhu. Right? That's what Srimad Bhagavatam, of all the Vaishnavas, he is the first one. So, before somebody becoming a Vaishnava, he may go through Lord Shiva worship. But if he is fortunate, he will become Vaishnava. Right? This is very important to understand. Okay? So while Lord Shiva can cheat you, depending on your mindset, but if you have come to Krishna, he will never cheat you. This is the difference now. Lord Shiva will never ever cheat you. Whether you come by mistake or whatever it is, he will never cheat you. Read the thing in the Shiva Tattva book. You will understand. The whole world does not know Shiva Tattva even properly. This is the thing. So, Lord Brahma. Okay, now let us talk about Lord Brahma. Why I am talking about this one is, how it is related to the Anartha Nivrtti. Because worshipping these all the gods has something to do with the anarthas. Because we have anarthas, materially we want to enjoy, we naturally have the inclination, as said in the Bhagavad Gita, to go to the demigod straight away. This way. Okay. So this Lord Brahma is also Ishvara. He is the God of creation. All the gods mentioned in Bible or Islam or whatever, they are all the creation God. That is actually Brahma. He is actually a very highly elevated jiva actually, because he has something called Ishwaratva. Ishwaratva is a quality that he has. Because how the quality came? Due to the power given by the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. So Lord Brahma is a Satyavesha avatar, that's empowered jiva only. That is why Brahma Samhita says that Vasvaryatasma sagaleshu nijeshu teja suhiyam kiyat prakatayati api tattva Brahmaya esha jagat anda vidana karta Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. I adore the primal Lord Govinda, from whom the separated subjective portion Brahma receives his power. For what? For the regulation of the mundane world. So he gets the power. That's a Sakti. So that is why Lord Brahma is a Sakti Vesha avatar. Actually, there is something called Surya Kanda. What is Surya Kanda? Surya Kanda is a jewel. Okay, it's a big crystal, very very special jewel. I don't know whether we are able to see this has been described in the scriptures. Now I don't know whether it's available or not. What it does is, if you really keep the thing in the sun, it absorbs the power, as much power, and keeps it, and then it really radiates. Very powerful radiates. That's why it's called Surya Kanda. Okay, so Surya Kanda. So what he is saying is, this is like basically that sun is Lord Govinda, and this Brahma is that jewel to whom he gives the power, and then he is now doing the work. This is how nicely described. Okay. Now we saw the Ishwaras, independent beings. Okay, and one never touched by Maya, and the other No. One touched by Maya and the other one not touched by Maya. Now let us look at the dependent beings. Typically there are the jivas. They are also of two kinds. Covered by ignorance, not covered by ignorance. There are two kinds. Those who are covered by ignorance, who are they? Animals and human beings, birds, beasts, and also demigods. Demigods are also covered by ignorance, in fact. Okay, even though I put only the picture of the animals here, I didn't really, put everything. So in the list it says demigods, human beings, birds, beasts, and so on. Now, who are not covered by ignorance? Atma Jnanis. Jnanis, they call them, Jnanis. Who are they? Swami Vivekananda, Shankaracharya, there are Jnanis. See, if you see the karmis and the karma yogis and then the Jnanis. Okay, so these Jnanis are not covered by ignorance. Then there is another one also who are not covered by ignorance, pure Krishna devotees. So, while Jnanis are called Jnanis, these pure Krishna devotees are called Vijnanis. They have gone even higher. But if we see something very important is, the jnana is here, but vijnana is in the heart. Okay, so when you receive jnana, you just realize it, you digest it, and then it really goes into the heart. Okay, so this is vijnana, realization is vijnana. People may talk, jnanis can talk, they talk from here. But a bhakta, it does not talk from here, it talks from the heart. And where does actually Lord resides? In the brain or in the heart? He said, okay, brain you can have, you just keep your intelligence on the jnana with you. I don't want that. He said, I want your vijnana, my love. That what the realization? Love of God. So that's why he takes the position in the heart. That's very interesting, very important, right? So pure Krishna devotees or vijnanis or bhaktas, they are also not covered by ignorance. So jnanis and bhaktas are out of ignorance. However, the situation of these jnanis is said to be lamentable. In fact, if you read the Madhurya Kadambini, it says the jnanis are so pitiable, highly pitiable. Why is that? Because the jnanis want to merge in Brahman, Mukti. They do not want God. Look at the statement here. I think I used somewhere else also. Mukti is the goal, not God. See, I really even told these guys they really don't want father, mother, but they only the properties of the father. They are all robbers actually. So in the way. So in merging with the impersonal Brahman, these jnanis are deprived of the ecstatic taste or innate bliss of service to the Lord. That's what they are actually. See, the thing is, they are losers, big losers. For them, the alpa, the insignificant bliss of samadhi is their goal. Ramana Maharishi, Vivekananda, they are all crazy for just samadhi. Isha found, you just name. Their goal of mukti is, this samadhi is actually cessation of pain and sorrows. Neutral, zero. Negative is our worries, all sorrow. Zero is, right. That is what is that particular mood. This samadhi is all about. It is not really bliss. Bliss is when you go high, positive. That is only when you are with Krishna, father and mother. So it is said that an intelligent person therefore prefer even hell instead of Brahman, Sayujya Mukti. So who is more unfortunate than one who lives inside a storehouse of honey? You have a storehouse of honey, but you are deprived of tasting even a drop of it. See, this is the situation of the jnanis. Therefore, Chaitanya Charitamrita says that Brahma Sayujya Haite Ishvara Sayujya Dikkara. So the merging in Brahman is very pitiable. That is why Shastra says hell is even better than this Brahman. Why? Because once you really get into this Brahma Jyoti Brahman, you are lost. You will lose your identity, and it's like spiritual suicide, and you can never come back out of. It's almost impossible. You are really done suicide. How can you really come back again? So once you merge in Brahman, there is no way to return. It is a spiritual suicide. Again I am saying, spiritual suicide. That is why Jnani such as Swami Vivekananda, Sadguru, Isha, and so many, you can, Shankaracharya are all very pitiable. They are not actually Sadgurus. They are sad gurus. SAD. Sad gurus because of this. In one way, they are not fully out of ignorance. That's the point I want to make. They are almost out of, but the thing is, they are not fully out of ignorance, like the devotees do. So, but Krishna Bhaktas are said to be completely free from ignorance. If you read Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam, this is what you will get. The Jivas practicing bhakti attain the Supreme Lord in different bhavas. Maybe he's as a servant, maybe Vaikunda, that's fine. Or as a friend, Sakya Bhava, Dwaraka, and the parent, Goloka, and beloved, that is in Goloka, Vrindavan, and so on. So these Jivas, who are actually happen to be the Bhaktas, Krishna Bhaktas, are very fortunate, highly fortunate. And because they relish the immense happiness of being with the Lord. There is nothing, because all the happiness, He is the Satchidananda. And only when you really go to Him, you will have the Satchidananda to you. And how can be? Because this Brahma Jyoti is what? It's a effulgence of Lord Krishna. Effulgence. And how can you really have that much bliss in the effulgence? No. You have to be with the Satchidananda source. That is Bhagavan Sri Krishna. Out of the three forms, Bhagavan, then the Brahmajyoti, and then Paramatma. So of all these, we saw in the last class, of course, Ayyavali is actually, inclined to worship Paramatma. Then these Hinduism, all Hindus, they are inclined to really merge in the Brahman, Jnanis and all. But we don't want any of those. We just kick the thing with our leg out. That's it. We don't want any of those. So this is the position of the Krishna Bhakta. You have to understand that. We are the top, because we are the topmost enjoyer. Actually, we don't want to enjoy. We want Krishna to enjoy. It's a byproduct. We are actually getting even enjoying more than him. More than him. Okay, that is another topic altogether. Anyway, so while the Jnanis like Vivekananda, Shankaracharya and Mayavadis that I was talking about want to merge in Brahman and forget about themselves and killing in that spiritual suicide, Krishna devotees enjoy the ultimate bliss. Both Krishna and his dear devotees develop something called mamata. What is mamata? Mamata normally it means a proudness. Okay, that's called mamata. Okay, so we also say that, sometimes even a guru also feels, hey, I am so proud of you to really be, have you as a disciple or something, because of the accomplishment and the commitment. So that is a divine proudness. So that divine proudness is that mamata is exchanged by Krishna and his devotees. Just watch this small clip if you can. So the gopis became forgetful about everything. Their souls, their bodies, their brothers, sons and husbands. They forgot everything. However, they had remembrance of Krishna's name, form, qualities and pastimes. But the Munis forgot their own identity and became merged in the Brahman. The Munis even forget Brahman. They have no mamata, nor does Brahma have any. Okay, so now in a nutshell, these jnanis are, whatever we are actually talking about, they don't have anything like this. This mamata they cannot have, because they lose themselves. There is no one. When they go and they merge in Brahman, they lose their own identity. And how will you enjoy? What is they are saying bliss? What bliss? You really kill yourself when you are saying that I am now in bliss. What do you mean by that? Because you lose your own identity. Then who is there to enjoy? There is no bliss. This is utterly nonsense that Shankaracharya and all those who are actually following in the same blind follows the blind is a dangerous thing. So we don't want that. Now, look at the Krishna devotees. Krishna devotees and Krishna, they exchange it so nicely. The Krishna devotees say, "Oh Krishna, you think that you are so great?" No, actually I am the great. I am greatest. I am greater than you. Then Krishna says, why? Why do you say that? Because you carry all the unlimited worlds in you. But look at, I carry you in my heart. See, wherever I go, I am carrying you in my heart. Who is greater? You or me? This is how they exchange. That's what that Gurudev was talking about. And Krishna also says that. Others, to others, what he is saying? Sadhavo krudayam mahyam sadhunam krudayam tvaham matanyate na jayanti naham devyo manakapi. Srimad Bhagavatam says, my pure devotees is always within my heart. He says, no, you are in my heart. Okay, now the Takavar is going. In the core of my heart is my devotee. And similarly, I am in the heart of my devotees. Sadhavo hridayam mahyam. Sadhunam hridayam tu aham. So in the heart of sadhus, I am there. And in my heart, they are there. They are here. And he says now, mat anyate na jayanti. My devotees do not know anything else but me. And naham tepyo manabhya api. I do not know anything else but them only. So Krishna, after he expanded, he put so many expansion to really, so many creation, this everything. He alone is enjoying with the devotees. That is what is Golaka Vrindavan. Only Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, these all the things are all expansion. Okay, you take care of them. But I want to be one with my devotees. So we become a Krishna devotee and go back to him. Now coming back to a very important topic, before we get into this Anartha Nivrtti, is what? We saw Lord Shiva's position and also Lord Brahma, right? There are actually, all the demigods who supply you, he will give you material enjoyment. Those things will only blind us more in this material world. But our goal is to get away from this. You saw the balloon. So that is why we should worship those Ishwaras who are beyond any touch of Maya. Lord Narayana, Lord Sadashiva, Lord Vishnu, of course Lord Krishna. So you just notice I said Lord Sadashiva also. Oh, what is this Shiva? Many people do not know the difference between Sadashiva and Lord Shiva. This is the big problem. Especially South India is a total sambar. They have no idea. So it should be understood that only Lord Shiva accepts Maya, not Sadashiva. Sadashiva has no touch of Maya. Who is that Sadashiva? He is like Lord Narayana. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura has written about this in his Bhagavatam Arthakana. Kimcha Sadashiva Swayam Rupango Vishesha Swarupo Nirgunaksa Shiva Syamshi. He says Sadashiva is not a Gunavatar. He is a Vaishnava. He is a Vishnu Tattva. So just like Sri Narayana, who is transcended to material nature, Sadashiva is also a special expansion of Sri Krishna himself. When he really wanted to do Rasa dance pastime, from the left side comes Radharani, right side comes Sadashiva. He is the one who really guards the whole place. So Sadashiva resides in Sadashiva Loka, which is actually in this picture, that is actually called Kailash. But this Kailash, what we have, what is this? This is Mount Kailash. This is not a Loka, this is a Mount Kailash. So, that Kailash, what we are talking about, Sadashiva Loka is above the Maya. And while the Guna Avatar, Lord Shiva, who comes from Sadashiva, taking so many parts and then becomes, the Rudras and all those, they are subjected to the Maya. Okay, this is very important. I am going so deep actually, but this is the class. Sadashiva is a Vishnu Tattva and he is a first Vaishnava. Okay, now you are following. So we worship him along with Pancha Tattva. Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma fulfill the material desires of their worshippers. But true Krishna Bhaktas do not have any trace of such desire. As they desire only the eternal treasure of prema, they do not worship Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma, who are in touch with the material modes, that is Maya. So Krishna devotees worship only Lord Hari, who is untouched by Maya. Very important mode, okay? So in the Anartha Nivrtti, how can the demigods can actually take care of your Anartha Nivrtti? This is the point. That's why I have to come all the way here. So the devotees worship is transcendental and would not even accept any type of liberation. Sarokya, Sarshi, Samipya, Sarupya, Yaktikam api yutat dhiyamanam granandi vina mat sevanam janaha. So those who worship the demigods, they really, demigods, they are materially motivated. Their reward is insignificant, temporary wealth and opulence, which ultimately results only in more suffering only. And there is something very important about demigods also. So suppose you make some mistake in the worship of demigod, they will curse you, they will punish you. Look at Lord Indra's. Lord Indra wanted to even destroy Vrindavan just because these Brajavasis did not actually offer the puja. Now look at the story of Brahmani, who went to test who is the real God, who is beyond all this kind of the material contamination, who went to Lord Shiva, right? And also Lord Brahma. What happened? They were all became angry, and they were actually about to actually he got cursed. Brahmanas will never be wealthy. Some curse also he got. I don't know whether it is from Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma was also met with, was also so angry. Lord Shiva was also angry. So that's what Brahmani said. Then finally what he got? So then Brahmani went to meet Lord Vishnu. And out of these all the insults, he immediately went, and then he will be also like that, and then he took his foot and then kick on the chest of Lord Vishnu. What did Lord Vishnu do? He got hold of, your feet would be probably hurt because of my foam chest. And he was massaging the feet of Brahmani. Why that? Now look at what I was explaining so far. Lord Vishnu Tattva is beyond Maya. Whereas those, Shiva, Brahma, they are all under touch of Maya. This is why the difference comes. Okay? So now, this is why Lord Vishnu Tattva, only Vishnu Tattva is worshipable. Okay? That is the point I want to make. I will again explain this with another example. One more example I will go. You all know the story of Gajendra. Gajendra Moksha. Everybody is talking and talking, but nobody is going deeper into seeing the slokas, what exactly it is saying. So Gajendra, when he was caught by the crocodile, he cried, "Oh Almighty Lord, please help." Almighty Lord. He did not call Lord Vishnu. He did not call, basically he said Almighty Lord. Okay? He implied, what did he ask? Almighty Lord, please help. See the word Almighty here, Almighty Lord. Lord Shiva heard it, but he did not respond. He felt, I am not the Almighty Lord. I am just one of the Ishwaras. Lord Brahma also heard. He also did not respond. He also felt, I am not the Almighty Lord. I am just one of the Ishwaras. But Lord Hari responded. Right? Why? Because he is the Almighty Lord. As soon as Gajendra, now look at another thing also. He did not see. If the demigod comes, they will cut the crocodile or something, and then, they will relieve the stress, maybe, assuming. But here, look at what happens to that Gajendra, who was in intense pain. And as soon as he saw Lord Vishnu, he completely forgot about his misery and death. Blood is going. He completely forgot. Instead, even amidst that agony of that coming, the pain and death, he got the devotion. He got the devotion because Lord Vishnu gives devotion. And devotion, he immediately grabbed a nice, like lotus flower, whatever that is there. And he was trying to, he was offering to Lord Vishnu. Look at here. Even immense pain, he wanted to offer something to the Lord. This is what one will get when seeing the darshan of Vishnu or Krishna. So Gajendra grabbed the lotus flower and offered. Our material bondage is also like the crocodile, the Maya. So the right thing to do is to ask for help to get out of this Maya, like Gajendra did. So that can be done only by worshipping the Almighty Lord. Others cannot even give moksha. What is the thing? So now there was another story also. There was a lordship, because once there was a deity, devotee Brahmana, and his name was Vishwakshena, and he really used to go all over the place. And he once came to a village and he was resting there, and there was the son of that village chief approached him and asked, "Hey, who are you? What are you doing?" etc. So when they really exchanged, he came to know, wow, he is a priest, he is actually worshipping whatever, priest. And then the son of the village chief said, "Today I am sick actually, please, to take care of the worship of my deity. So do the puja to the deity, to my deity." So who is the deity? Lord Shiva. Upon hearing the request, immediately, that Brahmana said, no, oh young man, I am exclusively devoted only to Sri Hari. Sorry, I cannot really do this job. And so I never worship any demigod. Only the deity of Sri Vishnu. Please go away. The son of the village got angry. So angry, he got the sword with him. He put the thing and then he said, "If you are not going to really do what I said, I am going to cut your head off. I am the in charge here." So now what will you do? So the Brahmana, of course, there is no other way. So he went to Shivalinga, and in front of the Shivalinga. So what he did was, instead of reciting the mantra of Lord Shiva, he recited the mantra of Lord Narsimhadev. And the son of the village, he really was so furious. And so why are you really worshipping this? He really pulled up the sword and then he was about to cut in front. Immediately, from that Shivalinga, Lord Narsimhadev came out. And he killed. He immediately vanished, that boy. And it's also said that entire family was also gone. That was the way it's written. It happened in the place called Lingaspota. It is in South India. Not that many people know. That's the problem. Because people who go to temples only wherever they have something, some boons. So this is there. It's called Lingaspota. It's South India. So even now they actually worship Narasimhadeva now. Continuously. Even today they do that. Anyway, so you have to understand some of the things again. Very, very deeply. Otherwise, see, whatever the brain they have given, you have to use it right. So Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma cannot stop their woes, right? So what are the boons they have given, as I said. Lord Brahma, that he offered the boon to Hiranyakashipu, but could he solve the problem? That was created because of the boon. Lord Narasimhadev has to come. That is Vishnu Tattva. Then also we see Lord Shiva, Birkasura, so many suras, right? So Birkasura, he actually was doing intense tapas. He was even cutting his own flesh and then putting in the fire to satisfy Mahadev. So that Mahadev comes and then gives a boon. And what was the boon that he really asked when finally Mahadev actually appeared? What did he ask? He asked, yes, whoever the head I really touch, you should really go into pieces. It will explode. It should explode. Look at it. This is the demonic. Demonics are like that. If you really think one way, I don't know why he really even asked this kind of thing. Because isn't it that when you are taking bath, anyway, you are going to touch your own head? Isn't it? I don't know. This is how the brain is actually working for demons. Okay. So again, if you see in the Swargaloka, the war always going between what? The Devas and Asuras. Asuras worship Lord Shiva and the Devas worship Lord Vishnu. That was the thing. Same problem again. So the problem is there. It is really so intense. Like the war, Russia-Ukraine war is going on. There the war is always again and again because of this one only. All the time. So anyway, after this Asura got this boon, what did he do? He wanted to test that on the head of Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva could not do anything. Because the way is, again, as I said, they cannot undo their boon. They have no way of solving their own problem, the problem that was actually created by their own boon. They don't have the power. So finally he had to run through so many worlds and worlds. Nobody could really help. Finally he went to where? Vaikuntha only. And Narayana came as a Brahmin boy. He said, hey, what are you actually running against? Running after? Oh, then because, no, I'm actually running and chasing to really catch Lord Shiva. Why? He gave a boon and then I want to test. And what? You got a boon from what? From Lord Shiva? How can you know that the boon even works even? So he is the one who was cursed by Daksha. So that is why, he has become a ghost and he is constantly wandering about his company with the goblins and ghosts and all those. How can his word be true? He's a cheater. How can you? So then finally what happened? You know the story. To make it short, then finally he was really, Lord Narayana was so convincing that nothing is going to work. So you touch by putting your own hand. See, this is the thing, because he can control Maya. He controls Maya. Maya is under his control. He can put anything he really wants. So finally he touches and then it explodes. So this is how the positions are. Okay, now you have to understand. So those only Vishnu Tattva are beyond Maya. All the others, the demigods, they are all touched by Maya. Some are willingly, and many of the demigods even they are not willingly. They are actually forced even, because we didn't cover about all the 33 crores of gods. Anyway, so we have seen that worshipping demigods for our material enjoyment is a great anartha. This is what the point that book is talking about. That is why we have been going all the way. So we have divided this into 3 parts, is to make sure that this is the greatest anartha that we have. Okay. So now what is the best way to destroy this anartha then? It is by chanting the holy names of Lord Krishna. Again coming to the same chanting. Chanting not only removes our anarthas, but the most rare Krishna prema is also given by that is actually the ultimate goal. So the real goal of chanting is to get Krishna prema. Anartha removal is secondary. Now if one does not get Krishna prema, even chanting for years, it should be understood that some nama aparada has been committed, and the heart has become like a stone that cannot melt. That is why Srimad Bhagavatam explained this situation very clearly. Tatasmasaram hrudayam badhetam yet grigyamanir harinamadeyim na vikriye tada yada vikaro netre jalam gatra ruhashishu harshaha. See, you are chanting and chanting and chanting the Lord's name. But that person who does not experience the ecstatic transformation, such as melting of the heart, tears coming from your eyes, horripilations, hair standing on ends, and if that doesn't happen, that person's heart is like a stone, as iron. That's how it is saying. So question is, do you feel the ecstatic symptoms when chanting? If not, you have done some nama aparat. What's a nama aparat? See, the thing is, nama aparat means there are totally 64 kinds of nama aparat. There are 10 of the primaries. Topmost is Vaishnava aparat. And now the thing is, nama aparat is also chanting the Lord's name without even be careful. Just like that, you will take a watching TV, you are chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, like that. So that is nama aparat. Nama aparat actually. Okay, because you are not respecting the Lord's name. Lord's name and Lord, there is no difference. So what it is saying is, if you know the history, Ajamila, even though he was so bad, so wicked man, but when the Yamadutas came to catch his soul, he was so fearful. And he called for help. Oh Narayana. What was the Narayana? The name of his son, youngest son, Narayana, because out of his fear, it was so fearful to really see the Yamadutas. But what happened because of that? Vishnu Dutas appeared immediately and threw the Yamadutas out. So if you chant, so what it means is, even if you chant Mahamantra with offense like this, Nama Prabhu even shall give some mercy. Not all of them, but he conceals. Okay, he doesn't really give all the power. He conceals the power, of course. There's no power. But there is also some grace is there. So if we commit Nama Aparat, what happens then? There is an important one, which is you will never go to Yamadutas. The thing is, the holy name of that Ajamila chanted, even though it was not Suddhanama, out of the fear of death, and Yamaduta, fear of death and the Yamadutas, simply by calling the name Narayana, actually it was Nama Aparat, right? But Yamadutas were out. So the point here is, Kintu Yamadutanam tat akramanena sakti nate yamam pasha brittasya tatpatan swapne api pashyanditi ade na vityande dasya yamairhi sudhirhiti atra yamair yoga gair iti vyakeyam. What does it mean? Yamaraj or the servants of Yamaraj, Yamadutas, have no power to arrest even offenders of the holy name. Even if you chant the Lord's name, the Maha Mantra, with even its aparat, Yamaraja is not going to even come. This is there in Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th Kanda, first chapter and 19th verse. What it is also saying is, even in their dreams, such persons will never see Yamaraj or his Yamadutas. See, look at the power of the holy name. But, however, if you do Namaparat, you cannot go back to Krishna. Only thing is, you are blocking the Yamadutas from coming. But what that means is, you will be given chance again to be born. So eventually you will be able to make use of this Sukruti. These Nama Aparats are the Sukruti, look at that. And then eventually you will be able to really get to perfection. So only by pure chanting, thinking of Krishna and his pastimes, shedding the tears can completely purify the soul. To such a soul, Yamaraja gives his obeisance. Watch out here now. You won't believe. Yamaraja will come and then give his obeisance to you. This is what happened in one case. One pure devotee was actually just going to Vaikunta. Yamaraj came. Oh, how come he can go? I haven't given the visa. How he is going? He was curious and then he came. And he saw that, wow, he's a pure devotee. And he bent his head down to really show his obeisance. And that pure devotee even used the head of Yama as a step and then got into the Vimana. This is how the position is. Now understand the power of this Harinam, this power of the holy name. But we don't realize. The Guru Paramparas, Guru coming and telling the same thing again and again and again. Nothing is going here because there is no Sukruti. There are 64 types of Namaparas, of which only 10 are very severe that I talked about. This Nama Aparati, of course, he doesn't go to the Yamadutas, but he cannot get any Guru. Right? If you do Vaishnava Aparat, it's the severest Nama Aparat actually. So he can never serve a Guru. It is impossible for such persons to really get a Guru because their mind will block. Even one formally took initiation by mistake, but turns against his own Guru as an aparadi, he is immediately relinquished, flushed away from Guru and Krishna automatically. So now we are going to conclude, just a few more minutes. A devotee who is clearing Anartha Nivrtti stage will have a whole different perspective about the sufferings. He may be going through suffering. So when a devotee fully surrenders to Guru and Krishna, all his prarabdha karma, those karmic reaction coming because of his karmic karma he did, are already wiped out. But however, Krishna is really going to do something special. So these difficulties will be coming. What are they? Those sufferings are meant to increase the devotion. so that he can be taken back to spiritual abode quickly. Look at the life of like Mirabai. What kind of difficulties that she really went through. Even though she was actually born as a prince. Look at how Krishna even put her in a situation to drink even poison. Yeshyaham anugrahanami karishye taddanam sanai tatodanam tyajanti yashya swajana dukkha dukkitam. If I really want to favor somebody because he is a beautiful, he is very good soul, what will I do? I will take away his wealth. I will give only whatever that he will be enough for him to survive. That I will give. But he cannot be rich. He cannot be like Bill Gates or something. No. And I will also give him hardship. My devotee will become so pure. How is that? When you really want to make a pure gold, what will you do? You take the gold with all, mixed with all kinds of, the dirt. You really heat them. You heat them intensively. And the dirt will go away. And the gold will become pure and pure and pure. So that is why Krishna says, severe disease and poverty are the symptoms of my mercy. Sometimes, even we are born with the disease. Eventually, if you see that, it's a blessing. Because if it is not, you will have problem. You will go crazy on the material side to the Maya, and you will never come back to Krishna. So this is important. He sees that. So severe disease and poverty are the symptoms of my mercy. We find many such statements in the scriptures. Bhagavan, the benefactor of his devotees, indeed most adept in increasing his devotees' humility, and that is why we see the story of Mirabai. So, but the thing is, what is important is the pure devotee, when he surrendered to a Guru and Krishna, always take it as a test. Unless you write test, how will you pass the exam? Exam, so who gives the degree without actually doing the test anyway? So you have to understand. Oh, there is a test is coming then. Okay, all right. Now I know for sure my goal is to get Krishna, to get away from this world, to get away from this Maya. But I have some contamination. I have some desires. But I have to somehow, by association, by temple worship, by bhajana, I have to clean myself. That is why a guru is always will be forcing on you. Yeah, you do this one, you do this one, you chant this way, do this, that. Why is that? But the disciple may not be saying, oh my God, I have too many things to do, how can I do that? No. Guru is Guru, then only he is Guru. He will force. Otherwise he is a Guru. Okay? So because he wants you to throw all the garbages out. Because these garbage are not going to help us to go up. It will only drag us down like the balloon. Okay? So this is now. So a lucky soul, due to his Sukriti, first develops faith, Shraddha. And Shraddha in what? Guru and scriptures. He will then take the association of saintly personality, sadhu sangha. Then he engages in practices of devotion, temple worship and bhajana. That is bhajana kriya. And thereafter his obstacles will begin slowly diminish. Anartha Nivrtti will come. This is the stage where the difficulties will come to you. Okay, this is the testing that is, it's not coming because of your karma. If you are completely surrendered to Guru and Krishna, okay, then the prarabdha karma is gone actually. So what are these obstacles again? To develop more firm faith, nishtha, and anyone weaker will be out, of course. So then when you really get through this, then what? Then the nishtha comes and ruchi comes. When the ruchi has come, you will never fall down. So he will then get stronger and stronger, and the attachment, asakti will come to Bhagavan, from which pure spiritual emotion, bhava will come, and then the prema will come. This is how all the things are noticed. Now again, in this world, in our body, all these stages cannot be really, can be really, our body cannot handle all those. all those emotions. So we can go probably up to some Bhava. When Bhava comes, this body. That is why if you see the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's his own life, because when he gets into this Bhava, he faints, and all the limbs and all the bones and everything will become loose, and all the hands and all the things will be hanging in skins. There will be so many, like 3 inches or something, it will be just hanging, and he's because our body cannot withstand. So that is why you will be given a higher body as you go higher and higher. Okay, so this is how this is coming. This is very sacred, I will tell you. This is not for everybody. Okay, only fortunate souls will come here. So you are fortunate, I think. So the summary of the class is, we went through independent and dependent beings, and 2 kinds of Iswaras, beyond Maya and also touched by Maya. 2 kinds of Jivas, covered by ignorance or not covered by ignorance. Then also we saw the positions of Brahma, Shiva and Vishnu in clearly. Okay? And we identified who is the worshipable and who is not worshipable. Okay, so this is very important. Otherwise, you will be stuck here only. You will be really going to praying only for your own sake. I want a good wife, beautiful wife. I want to get a job or something. No, we haven't gone through all those. That will come as it is destined. You don't have to worry about it. Worship Krishna, Vishnu Tattva. Then only you can actually go higher. Otherwise, like the balloon, we are stuck here. So we saw the positions of them. And only Vishnu Tattva is worshipable, and demigod worship gives only more Maya. That is why we always say that, demigod worship, because the thing is, not everybody is in that stage. I cannot really teach that in our own Kanyamari temple. See, you are fortunate to really come here, right? So this is very important to understand. Although Krishna gives only bhakti, not Maya. Chanting destroys anarthas. This is very important one. So we also saw the Nama Aparad. Of course, we are running late. Nama Aparad will block the Brahma. Okay, right? Prema won't come. But Yamaduda, you are escaping. But Prema will never come if you do the Nama Aparad. So the greatest Nama Aparada is Vaishnava Aparad. Okay. Now, even Nama Aparada can stop Yama, but Nama Aparadis cannot get or serve any guru. Krishna gives sufferings to increase your bhakti. Always catch on this last one. Think about it. Think about all the great saints who really became so popular. Look at Mirabai alone. Then look at what suffering she actually went through. She was the greatest Krishna Bhakta. Why should the suffering should happen to Mirabai? Why? Krishna wanted to show the devotion to the whole world. The entire world. Right? That's why I used to give a thing. How will you know the strength of an elephant? You have to tie it on a tree. Then you will see that elephant pulling the tree. Oh, then we see the strength. Otherwise, how will you know the strength? The same way, the strength of our devotion, for that to come out and become strong, Krishna may give this kind of, course, he may or may not give. That is up to your position. How much you have actually surrendered. If you are completely surrendered, given everything, you don't have to worry about anything actually. Everything he will arrange. But how many jivas will have that kind of faith? Okay, anyway, with that I will finish here. Next week is actually going to be Nishtha and Ruchi. Okay, so alright, Vanja Kalpatariccha, Kripa Sindhu Pevacha, Paditanam Bhavanepyo, Vaishnavepyo, Namo Namaha. I hope that you are all able to understand about so many tattvas very deep. And if you want to refresh yourself, you try to listen to the previous classes which are all there on the web, googlebhajan.com. Okay, next week, of course, we cover Nishtha and Ruchi. Thank you and Hare Krishna.